All right, everybody. JT here, live in the studio with you. Studio 10-4 live, back from Bakersfield, down there for the weekend, and the first ever annual 10-4 Trucker Rodeo and show. And man, what a show! Incredible, incredible, incredible is that's one way to put it, but it was amazing. It really was. Uh, I want to start off first by just saying thanks to everybody for everything that they did. All the event, the competitors, the spectators, all of us to work together to make it happen. The track, all the folks down there. It was an amazing deal. First show ever down there, and for us, and of this kind anywhere. So pretty damn amazing. We're going to talk more about what happened specifically. We're going to talk about who won what and how everything went down when we can get Dan on the show. Dan's able to watch today. He can't be here. He's wiped out, man. That's basically it. And frankly, so am I. I just drove up from Stanislaus County down in Modesto, and I'm wiped out. Yesterday wore me out, and I'll get to that in a minute. But we had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of awesome trucks. We had about 150 trucks. The light show Saturday night was freaking awesome. If you guys haven't seen the pictures, go to our uh, Trucker Rodeo page. In fact, you know what? This is how out of it I am. Give me 1 second. All right, now we got a show. Anyway, the light show was freaking awesome. The trucks, and I mean, look, we know what light shows look like, right? Everybody is it agreed that sometimes you get some that are better than others. I think this was one of the best I've seen, and over the top, because of the way this track is set up, the vendors where they were set up at, they could come in, they could be standing up there and shoot right down on top of the trucks like they were flying around on a drone. So incredible pictures. I've got some stuff that I'm going to share, and I just rebooted my computer, so I kind of got to go back. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let me get this opened up, and then that way I can share it with you guys. Let's do this. And let's just go like that. How about that? I mean, that's actually pretty freaking awesome video. I think that's from Stephanie Haas, Diesel Addict, maybe shot that. Um, if she didn't, well, then somebody else is giving up their video, and Stephanie's getting credit for it. But I think Stephanie shot that. Just an amazing view down on the show and shine lot. Everybody that was down there, and I think everybody just went all out on the trucks. I mean, we had some major. Yeah, well, thanks, Dan. Stephanie shot that. Yeah, Central Valley Trucking being one of them, DeVry being another one. I mean, the list could go on of all the guys that brought multiple units and fleets, and I didn't even know it until I started looking around today, getting a chance to kind of poke around, and that's just like in the last hour or so. That some of these guys were in Denton, Texas, just not too long ago, and they were showing their trucks there, and then they brought them over so we could see them and share with us. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the buckles that were awarded out to everybody, but there you are. That's one of them. closed body backing, 10-4 Trucker Rodeo and Show 2024. And these buckles really became a big deal, after talking to some of the competitors, and they were just saying how much those buckles meant to the competitors, and it turned out to be a pretty big deal. When I said, so if you're competing for this, what's the motivation to win? And they're bragging rights is usually, trophies, cool, yeah, but the guys were all saying these buckles were just badass, and I agree. And the light on that one that I showed you, it doesn't really. I'll find a better picture, but that one, I think it was the light was weird because of the sun going through the canopy. It was red and popping down on us. Anyway, it was not the best light, but some of the other pictures from the show, down on the infield where the competitors were competing, uh, pretty amazing what was going on down there this weekend. Saturday was a great day for the dads, and when I say that, it was a great day for the dads because we had um, father-son competitors, and the dads all won on Saturday. But Sunday was a different story, and we had a couple of the sons come back and win and do real well. So exciting to see it happen. Exciting to be a part of it. It was my pleasure and privilege to work the infield and MC with Dan and bring the show to you guys up there in the grandstands. Transfer dump competition, freaking awesome. Again, we'll get into all specifics when we get Dan back on the show with us, and we'll make it fun. But just a great weekend overall, and I have some other photos here. I want to. Oh, Dan just sent me something. Let me see what he sent me here. Uh, on my phone, of course, which oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a great shot. Uh, and that one's probably on our Facebook page as well, so I can share it with you guys. Let me bring it up, and that way you can get a real good look at it rather than me try to hold up the I got a feeling that's over on the 10-4 Trucker Rodeo page. Um, Rather than me hold up my phone and do it that way, let's do it. Let's do it like that. One thing that was very evident, and I'd never seen as many pictures and videos and things shared for anything that we've done, gauging what we've done. It's 10-4 magazine, trucking for kids. Well, here's one of them. So where was that picture that you sent me, Dan? Is that on your Facebook? Probably is, right? That way I can get a very, very nice screenshot of it rather there it is. Bam. Okay, now we're talking. There we go. Now you get the full view of what that buckle looks like, and I mean, even that doesn't do it justice. It's a beautiful buckle there for you to see, but in person, man, that thing, it's the real deal, and it represents, a competitor at a rodeo. So, congratulations to all the winners, the guys that competed this weekend. They were freaking awesome, and all the spectators, the show overall, just the vibe on Saturday night. During the day Saturday, we were out there working the competition all day, and then Sunday same thing again. And the Sunday competition, we had the hay boom competition, hay squeeze, cow loading, and the cow loading. Let me tell you what, man, that came off like I had no idea what was going to happen. I don't think any of us really did, but hands together, and hats off to Dan and Shan and everybody that put that together, man. It really came together really well. So And everybody else enjoyed it too. It was a lot of fun. And let me tell you, man, the competitors, those guys they were done when they had their heat and competed against each other. They were wiped out. And I mean, and if you guys are wondering what we did, so they were inflatable cows, like 1/3 size or even if that, but they were inflatable and named Betsy. Betsy did good, as Dan says. There was 3 of them, and they had to load them up, and they had to do everything just the way they would normally do it and be set up to load cows into their trailers. And when these guys were done, man, I'm telling you, um, they were wiped out. They were done. So, it was pretty amazing. The other thing too was competition was tight. There was some of the events that happened and took place. They were within 1 to 2 seconds of each other, which defined a winner and a loser. And I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's how tight some of this stuff was. Stereo competition, burnout competition, um, tire changer competition. Man, let me tell you, those guys worked. They really did. The hay boom competition, those guys were freaking awesome. Everybody was awesome. It just was a great show. So congratulations to everybody. I know we'll be back to do that again in 2025. We're going to take a breather right now from all of that, but trust me, it'll be back and it'll be even better. There was so many good suggestions, things that we noticed, things others noticed, all the input that came through all weekend long, and the experience of doing what we did there and how it went. It was amazing. And listen, this is coming from me and others like Dan and Shan and everybody else that we've been to a couple of truck shows. Um, it was time for something different, and this is it. That's for sure. So, next week, maybe we'll be able to get together and have Dan on the show. We'll have all the winners and announce everybody and what they did. And that way you guys can get a complete kind of show breakdown, follow up show report. I was so trying to get into all this and get it going. I didn't even get a chance to say hi to everybody, but howdy, Michaela. Thanks for tuning in. Who else did I see on there? Annette, Everett, Randy, what's going on, buddy? And of course, if you guys are watching and Pete, what's going on? Pete, I'll get you taken care of, buddy. We'll get you on that other page, like I said, now that I'm back home. And yeah, there is a neat Ruth. What's going on? T Dub, what's happening, buddy? Pete Henderson, good. Back in the house. Nice. Chip and salsa, man. What's going on? Kevin, what's happening, man? So got a good turnout today from everybody. Yeah. We're gonna get to that now, man. Get to that. So obviously, unless you were just, you don't care, weren't paying attention, were unconscious, got hit by a truck or a train, may have been a Trump train. I don't know. But yesterday there was a big deal in the United States of our America that happened, and a new president was elected. And he is the 47th president of the United States, second ever non-consecutively elected serving president. Second. That's it. There's only been one other guy that's done what he has done. And it was not just hey, by the way, we think maybe this guy ought to be president. It was overwhelmingly a landslide. So, in my heart of hearts and my feelings about all of this, I'm very excited. At the same time, I hope everybody takes this from me and shares it amongst themselves and others. It's time to be Americans again, folks. It's time to be us, Americans, all of us. Period. We're not, this side of the country, that side of the country, divided. No, we are all Americans. And in my day of growing up as a child with my father and family and the things that we respected in our world. We respected the armed services and the men and women that gave of themselves to be a part of that, and we respected our president and whoever it was. We respected them, and that was our guy for that time. Now, some may say, well, maybe not. Maybe we respected the office and not so much the person. No, we respected the person. Comedians back in the day would they would have their fun, but it was everybody was fair game. It wasn't such a divided, directed thing as it's become in the last, 15, 20 years, whatever. Maybe not even that much, but I can tell you that it is time for us to be Americans, all of us to be Americans together. Period. It's our country and we need to bring it together. We need to become whole again. And I mean, straight up, the last guy in there said he was going to do that. He didn't even come close. Okay. Didn't even, I mean, there was a willingness from many people to fall in line, but there was no director in charge of the train. Okay. Just wasn't there. So my my wish and my hope and my prayer is that we as a country can come together again. The biggest successes, the biggest realized dreams, the biggest ambitions that we set out to succeed in will only come if we do it together. You have to set out as an individual to initiate it, but listen, it's together that we'll make it, and that's as a country complete and whole. So please, let's do that. I think that in our election last night, it was very clear. Not only did we decide a winner, we decided this is as a country the way we wanted to go. Um, there was no confusion about who was winning this last night. Miss Julia and I stayed up. We started watching in the morning. We watched all day and through the night until the final speech was given. And I mean to tell you, it was like NFL Sunday, but it was politics and it was our country and it was an election and it was one that will always, I think, be remembered because of how it was done and what went on. If you witnessed it, you saw it, you listened to it, however you consumed it, um, it'll always be one for the books that you'll never forget. I know I never will. And huh, man, incredible, just incredible. So, hats off to those that have tried before. Sorry that they couldn't get it together, but uh, this time around, folks, there's 4 years ahead of us where there's going to be some things in this country that are going to get straightened out, and I'm looking forward to it. And by the looks of the social media channels that I am part of, uh, overwhelming majority of people in agreement that we have kept silent for a long time because it just keeps the peace more to do that. I think we're done with that, and I think the country's done with that. It's time for being patriots, love our country, love our flag, love our history. Doesn't mean we have to agree with things that went on with our history, but it is our history. Quit trying to erase it. Quit trying to forget about it like it never happened. It happened. It is who we were and what made us who we are. Now let's go from here forward. All right. Done. We have some guests in the studio today, and we're going to be talking about Irwindale Raceway, and obviously a lot of us already know. Irwindale announced that December 21st is going to be their last event. That's it, done. And of course, Trucking for Kids was scheduled to be there the first week of May. And Trucking for Kids, I can tell you this much as of today, and that is we've got it covered. And we shared that with everybody this weekend during 2 days of events. Trucking for Kids is good. It's in good hands. We have a plan. We'll get closer, and we will announce when and where that's going to be. And soon. It's going to happen soon for us. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know. But Trucking for Kids is definitely back in 2025. And I'll tell you what, 10-4 Trucker Rodeo is looking pretty doggone good in 2025 too. So, all right, let's bring it in, ladies. Kelly, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you for having me on.
See if I can edit. There we go. That'll take care of that. Can I hear you still?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Awesome. I'm going to do the same thing
connection.
Okay, good deal. All right, we're set. And I'm going to bring in Oscar. Oscar, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, John. Hi, Miss Kelly.
Good.
Hi, darling.
Good. So I'm gonna take our background out, and that way nobody's getting covered up. There we go. I thought it'd be cool to kind of bring, Oscar, you're part of the 10-4 trucker drags and the Trucker for Kid drags. I mean, and Kelly, you've become part of that because we brought you into the fold, and
Yes.
you've ran some exhibitions runs down there for us, but
Yep.
you've been a bigger part of Irwindale and for a long time, and you're practically down there every week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we try to run at least the Thursday night thunders.
Yeah. So, and Oscar, how long you been going down there and running in Irwindale?
Well, I'll tell you this. I've been a spectator for a long time, ever since Trucking for Kids came over. But I've been racing at the track for probably 9 years already.
Okay.
So I've been there for a while.
Okay, right on. So, and this is not I don't want to make this any kind of a bash session. I simply want us to talk a little bit about, what it means to us here in the room today, since it was announced that it's time, it's come, and what it means to you, and what are you going to do about it? And Kelly, I'll start with you. I mean, I know there's a whole culture of so many different classes of racing and cars down there in SoCal, that even if you're not there another night, somebody else is, and somebody else on another night, and another night, and another night, right?
Mhm.
So what's happening? What's it look like?
Well, I mean, I think we only have 4 testing tunes on Thursday night left. I mean, it's definitely very, very sad that it's going. We've only been racing for 5 years. October 10th was my 5-year anniversary. But all I know is that I'm so grateful that the track was there for those 5 years, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't have this life beyond my wildest dreams. So I'm grateful. I'm sad. I'm hurt, devastated. We're gonna have to travel to race, but I'm not giving it up. So we'll travel.
Well, and I guess that's the thing then. I mean, but travel where?
Bakersfield, Kern, Verona,
Yeah.
Vegas. We've never raced there. Phoenix, never raced there.
Okay.
Chuckawalla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of hours. I mean, from where you're at, it's going to be a couple hours no matter where you go, right?
Exactly.
And how long? What's it take you to travel to the track right now?
10 minutes.
Oh,
I know. We were spoiled really good.
all right. I have to say I get it, because oh my gosh, 10 minutes.
Right.
And now and 10 minutes, a couple bucks in fuel and you're there, right?
Yep.
Now you're talking, 2 hours one way, right?
Yep. 2 and over 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. So that's pretty
I get
sad.
it.
But
Well,
you know
were
what? We'll branch
spoiled.
out. What's that?
Yeah, you were spoiled.
Big time. Yeah.
Well, it is an end of an era, that's for sure. And the I mean, I would love to get some of the really, way back old timers guys that and sometime I hope I do. I'll get them on the show, but um I think there's enough here to talk about what's happening with it now and where it's going and what we're going to do about it. Oscar, for you guys, I mean, in SoCal, is there other places where you guys can go do test and tunes and compete?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, Miss Kelly has a better advantage because she has a car. We have
Yeah.
a semi, and most tracks don't want to get a semi on their track. So for us, we were so grateful the first time we ever went. On a Thursday night, that Tim, the owner, said, "Yeah, go ahead." And then the crowd got all excited of seeing a
Yeah.
big rig on the track.
Yeah.
And then racing against cars and beating the cars. So it was one of those things where we had so much fun there, and it's sad that it's going away, but we'll figure something out. Like Miss Kelly said, there's Bakersfield. We've spoken to them. They don't want to let us in their track, but there's other tracks that we'll talk to and see if they can let us test and tune. Because like she said, she was 10 minutes away. I was only 20 minutes away, so we were
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be where we're gonna be traveling 2-3 hours away, and then probably camping out and testing and tuning, because we would test probably 2-3 weeks before an event we had with the NHRDA or wherever we went. When we had an event, we were there.
Well, and unfortunately, and here's kind of where we're left to at this point. Thankfully, there's still Pomona, but Pomona is not available for anybody to do anything with. It's only once or twice a year that
Mhm.
NHRA is allowed to even do anything down there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very discouraging thing, and it's not just isolated to California, Southern California, West Coast. It's across the nation that the tracks have been, disappearing, and unfortunately, um, and I'll tell you, I don't think Bakersfield's ever going to have this problem because they built it right on the freeway. So, it's not like they're going to build houses around that thing and it become a problem, where that's kind of where we are with most of these other tracks, is that in Irwindale's case, it's going to get commercially developed. In a lot of other cases of tracks elsewhere throughout the country, there's houses being built and or has been built, and they've raised complaints and concerns or whatever, and decided that they don't want a racetrack there. It's like, you know, um, buying a house under the flight path of an airport. I mean, do your due diligence and realize there's airplanes flying overhead.
Yeah. Right.
At
Shut
any
it down.
time.
It's too noisy. Close it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And then
So,
they win.
Well,
yeah.
that's what kind of happened with Fontana. Fontana was one of those things where people started complaining about the noise, and
Yeah.
so they just decided to close it down. It's sad, like you said, it's Irwindale closed down, Fontana closed down, Sacramento closed down.
Yep.
I believe Redding is closing down. So all of our tracks around Southern California, which is kind of sad because the hot rock culture is in Southern California, is
Yeah.
in California, is the West Coast that
Yeah.
mostly started it, and most of our tracks are leaving, you know.
Yeah. It was like Dan just said that. He said the
Mhm.
sad thing is that the drag racing was born in SoCal, and that's why Pomona is still, allowed to survive. But I didn't know Reading was going to close down. When we talked to those folks up there, they told me they were closing Sacramento, but they would keep Reading open. So,
Okay.
um, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. But the bottom line is there's other tracks, and sometimes it feels like, that whatever it is, race tracks or anything else, something bad's happening. All of a sudden, everybody starts kind of piling on. The one in Colorado, and I can't think of the name of it, but they closed down, but they're going to be building another one. And some of the other tracks, that is what they're doing, and they're building them now in places that they won't have to worry about, 10 years. There's some plan in effect that says 10 years from now you're still going to have a racetrack. Now we're not going to build houses around you and force you out again. But I think overall, as the NHRA stands, they have made huge strides in comebacking of business and excitement and participation, spectators. They really have done well, and it helps that you have Fox Network with you to help promote it. It's the littler tracks that have suffered, and I guess the hometown tracks, let's call it that, that have suffered. And honestly, I got to say, thankfully, Bakersfield is there, because there is, that does not have a drag strip yet, but it will. In the meantime, there is Famoso, and that is there and is a drag strip. If you want to travel into Northern California, you can go into the wine country and go to not Vacaville. Oh heck, help me out, Dan. What? Bandimere, Colorado. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking about in Colorado. That one, they are rebuilding a new track in there, but they are closing the original one down. Firebird in Arizona, that one they said was closing, and now it's not. So it's interesting how things.
That's gonna be our season opener next year in Firebird for the NHRDA. So going.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not the solution to everything, especially when you have a hometown track closing like Irwindale. But there's many memories that have been made in that track and at that property, I'm sure. And to have it, go away, while it's sad, that's just sort of the way things have been going the last 10 years, especially since COVID. So, I'm sorry to see it for you guys, especially because that's your hometown track. And,
absolutely.
What concerns me mostly, I mean, I know you didn't want to no bashing or anything. What concerns me most is the street racing. Irwindale was a big part of preventing street racers being on the street or having these guys doing takeovers on the street. Now, all of that's going to go back into the streets. And it's sad because sometimes I came from that scene and I learned from it and I got away from it because at the track, I had better opportunities, where they allowed me they had no prep events and stuff like that we were doing. And now it's going to be one of those things where it's going to create chaos. And it's sad, but hopefully there's somebody out there that, opens up a track nearby, because people don't want to travel all the way out to Bakersfield or far away, they want to be around the city and go there, on a Thursday night, get out of work, go to the track and, do that, and then go home. So we'll see what happens. With that.
And that's it. You will. And I don't, and by the way, Oscar, that's not bashing at all. That's just it's just stating a reality. I mean, it's the path of least resistance is how things go. And the guys that want to still, do what they do and don't have a place to do it, they're going to, go back to some old habits maybe, or create new ones that could be not good, because you're in an environment now where you're doing that. It could put a lot of people at risk, not just the people racing, but everybody else around you. So not good. But I would hope something comes of it. I don't know. We haven't heard anything. I mean, we've been just trying to keep ourselves in tune with what's happening at Irwindale. Where are we going to, do Trucking for Kids and continue the things that are, directly in front of us. At the same time, all of us at 10-4 Magazine and Studio 10-4 Live have thought of you guys and all the others that race down there and all the other stuff that goes on down there. Shoot, there's so much going on down there. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
a huge loss
Yeah.
to a lot of different industries. I mean, the movie industry,
Yep.
they do all
Yeah.
kinds of shows and stuff down there. I don't know if people realize that, but
Tons.
there's a ton of events that go on down there that the movie industry or that industry shoots down there in that property. And then you've got the oval track and you've got the drag racing and the trucks and trucking for kids and drift races and on and on and on. I mean, the list goes on and on. Car
Mhm.
shows.
Yeah.
Burnout box.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So huge loss to the community, to the culture, to everybody that's considered Irwindale their hometown track. And sorry to say it, but December 21st is it. So I don't know, man. Maybe you guys, if you talk to enough people, and I'm sure you do, there's a way to put together a group that could be a site group that could start looking for a solution to how to go from here to something else in Southern California. The main thing is having the funds to put together a property to do something like that, unless there's something you can take over, and you kind of get the feeling that that's just not going to happen because the ones that are there are being just like Irwindale, they're done, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg Mooney's Christmas car show is that's at Irwindale, I'm assuming.
Irwindale, yeah, that's a big show.
That's the last drag race show of the year of the history of Irwindale.
Of it.
They
All
usually
right.
have it in January. And they moved it to December 7th.
Okay.
And then the 21st, they're doing the circle track. All that stuff is the grand finale, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
so.
Mhm.
So Kelly, tell me about your experiences there at Irwindale. I mean, what's like? Give me like your where you started out and kind of
Oh.
where it's coming and ending at. I mean, give me a little synopsis there.
Okay, so started racing October 10th, 2019 in my daily driver, 6-cylinder Camaro, 74 miles an hour. I forget what it was. Was it 12 seconds or something like that? Something slow, but I didn't matter. I was hooked. The return road there is by far the best return road ever. Fast forward to today. Well, tomorrow we're testing the new motor in my car, and we should be much quicker than we've been. And my quickest ever was a 5.75 seconds in the 8th mile, 119 miles an hour, popping wheelies, lifting, putting on the bumper, and just living my best life. And I just love that track. So when I lived in we moved to California when I was 15, and I always hated palm trees until Irwindale. Now I'm obsessed with palm trees. It just reminds me of the track. And then the sunsets, there is no sunset like Irwindale sunsets.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Especially being on the drag strip.
Yep. Driving off. My husband says he watches me drive off into the sunset.
Yes.
Yeah. Precious.
Oscar, what about you, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I grew up watching Wayne Talkington, Frank Fierro, Pat Kyle, John Talkington, which I didn't get to meet him, but I knew of him. And I saw all these guys drag racing and stuff. But before that, I was like Cruz Pedregon, John Ford, all these big guys that drag race in there. And I was hooked at a young age. I wear wrench monkeys with my brothers and my dad. My dad's an old school trucker. And we've always been at the shop. We always work. And I was always the one that the crazy one that wanted to go fast. I had my first car. I went to the drag strip. I raced there. And then I used to do some illegal street racing, but I got out of that and went into it. And then we built our truck. Yes. About probably 5-6 years ago. And as soon as I stepped into that truck and I was at the track, I was hooked. It was like I wanted to be there every Thursday night testing, trying to get faster and faster. And like Miss Kelly said, when we started, I ran, I think 65 miles at like 13 seconds, you know. And about a month ago, we went out to the track and we ran our fastest time at the track, which was a 7-1 at 103 miles, you know. And we were chasing that 6-second pass
Yeah.
every single time. And everybody that knows that at the track came up and they said, man, you guys are so close. You guys will make it. And unfortunately, we messed up our transmission, but we're gonna fix that, and we're gonna try to go out there and see if we can run that 6-second pass at our window one more time. We're gonna try to see what we can do, you know, because it's fun to see everybody seeing this big rig 10,000 pound truck running when it's running and running cars and beating them. And when you come around, like Miss Kelly said, you that those stands are like everybody's waving and everybody's, cheering you on and seeing all the kids, and they come up to you and that's the fun thing about being at the track. That's what I was one of those kids. So now that I'm doing it and I see the kids, it brought me joy to see it and be there. So now we gotta figure things out. We'll see what happens. You never know.
No.
Oscar's always a big hit at the track. Everyone's like, "Oh, a big rig! Look at this!" We always show him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with those John Forrest burnouts, So people love that,
It's all about the show.
My memories of, and I guess it was my hometown track, even though, it was 2 hours away, was Fremont, California, Baylands Raceway. And went there when I was a teenager. Buddy of mine took me and another friend of ours. We all three of us went there. And the guy that took us, he was from that area. So we'd never heard of it. We just, fast cars and stuff like that. I mean, that's every, back in our day, that's every guy's thing. Right. And girls apparently too. And some, but to go there the first time, this was back when they raced at NHRA sanctioned events, at the Baylands Raceway there. And never seen anything like it. And from that point on, I was hooked. And my backyard growing up was Laguna Seca Raceway there in Monterey, California. I mean, literally over the mountain from the track was where I lived in Carmel Valley. So whenever there was races, we'd hear the races going, and we'd drive over the hill and then park and then walk in somewhere, find somewhere to sneak in and go watch the races,
I love it.
Because literally it was like walking through the hills and the creeks and canyons and whatever to get into the track. And if you knew your way around, no problem. You'd find yourself a spot and you'd go in there and watch the races. And that was fun stuff. I think there needs to be something done. I don't know what can be done, but at this point it's up to us, and that's going to be to make the trip north and do that, and unless something develops in Southern California so that you guys can get that hometown track back again. But in the meantime, it's going to be the drive north, and yeah, Dan's a motorhead, man. He's a gearhead. Yeah, demo derbies, all that stuff, figure 8 races. That was that kind of stuff. I would see that kind of stuff at the fairs. They would bring the fair into town, and there'd be a crash derby and demo derby or figure 8 crashes or whatever. And then when I lived in Folsom, we had Great American Speedway in Roseville, and it's still there and still operating, and that's another good one. So I mean, I don't know, maybe there's tracks around. You guys will just have to see if you can figure out what works and what's the closest and get something going on. But I wanted to get you guys input, on what you felt that was going on and how it's looking. I mean, for you guys, Kelly, you said you got this Thursday night, you're going to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Testing the new setup.
Okay.
Can't
And
wait.
Oscar, when are you going to be there again?
So we're gonna try to fix the transmission on the truck, and I am trying to get some of the guys from TJ from Mexico to show up to the track, and we
Okay.
want to have a little rivalry match going on between
Grudge
us.
match.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get grudge match
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
make it the last batch out there and have fun and make one more great show out there. You know?
Okay. All right. Kelly, you got this week, you're doing Thursday, are your weeks kind of lined up here through to the end of the year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Thursday testing, then we are blessed and we get to run at Nitro Revival. So we're running Friday, Saturday this week, and then back Thursday, and then sadly that'll be it.
Yeah.
Oh, no Thanksgiving. They're closed on Thanksgiving. Damn it. Damn
Gotcha.
that Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
We'd rather burn rubber and burn gas than eat turkey, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
I can eat turkey on a
Exactly.
Saturday.
All right. And as you guys know, we work with Tim, who ran the track down there, and the way that things came down, they came down the way they had to. No bad reflection on him or any
Wasn't
of his
his choice.
people. It
Oh,
just it went the way that it went,
Right.
and I think we all knew. I know we knew it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Right. And
Right.
Tim Huddleston was the land leaser, and they tried so hard to stay there, but it wasn't up to them. IBS Realties, who owns it, and they said, that's it.
Yep. They're
Party's
going to
over,
develop
y'all.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. They're going to develop.
Unfortunately, the development is more money for them, so
Sure.
they'll make another warehouse or something, and
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep. That's why they wanted to do that. The land in the first place was to do that. So,
Yep.
all right, you guys. Thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate it. Kelly, your charity,
Mavix Community Outreach. We are
Yep.
a nonprofit who introduces foster children and troubled teens to the world of motorsports. And sometimes we take our race car to schools and do a little presentation and let them check it out and pass out goodies. And so that's not going to change. It's just that we can't bring them to Irwindale now.
Yep. Right on. Oscar, how about you? You got anything we can help you out with?
Well, we're always looking for sponsors. We're always looking. It's an expensive hobby. But mostly I
It's an
want to
habit.
thank all our sponsors for this year. We went out to Texas Motorplex a couple months ago. We came in third place. Ran our first 11-second pass, 11:58 at 121 miles. So if it wasn't for Premco, Warren with injectors, Steven Samet with CR Racing in Australia, if it wasn't for my brothers and all of us, they worked out Pacific Truck Sales out at Signal Hill. Those guys I've been there from the beginning and helped us out a lot. Gotta thank them for everything. I guess our season is into the end for this time right now. And so we get the truck ready and go one more time racing. But yeah, I just want to thank all our sponsors, and we're always, looking for that, help.
How about your truck part sales, man? How do people find you for that?
That one, you guys can find us on Facebook at Hanks 1961 KW. We specialize in vintage Peterbilt truck parts and Kenworth parts. That's our way that we, feed our table. And we go out there and everywhere and do everything exactly there. So yeah, we see John up there once in a while. We'll see him at the conventions, but yeah. And then just thankful for the Lord and thankful for everything,
Good.
And Trump 2024.
Good one, man. Good, Oscar.
Yeah.
Good on you, buddy.
Our website, mavixcommunity.org. Come check us out. Come see what we're about. Partner with us.
All right, you guys. Look forward to seeing both of you again somewhere soon.
Yes.
Hopefully at Trucking for Kids 2025. So once that gets pinned down, we'll get it out there to everybody, and hopefully that'll be soon. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, you guys, take care.
Much love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Kelly Barr Anderson there, you know, the wheelie queen of Irwindale, man. She likes to go two wheels on and two wheels off the ground there on her Camaro down the 8th mile in Irwindale. And then Oscar Velasquez comes and shows up every year for us at Trucking for Kids and runs that 8th mile down there in Irwindale. So we'll be looking for a new stretch of asphalt to run on and to have the Trucking for Kids on. And like I said, guys, we're in good hands. It's handled. We're just not announcing it yet. So we'll get there and let y'all know when that is and where it is so you can make plans to be there for 2025 Trucking for Kids. In the meantime, let me get back on here. Thanks to everybody that again helped us with 10-4 Trucker Rodeo and Show 2024 and all the competitors, the trucks. Wow. Just simply an amazing first showing at a show for everybody. The way things went down, it was incredible. I had some other pictures that I was going to show you guys. Where did we go with those? Well, I can show you the ones here that, and Stephanie shot a lot. So let's just kind of go over there and take a look at the ones that that Stephanie shared. I already showed you guys the nighttime shots. Another video from Joe. I think this is kind of when things were just first getting going. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned or not, we had 150 trucks. So this was Saturday morning. There's still rain on the trucks a little bit, and listen, the rain was actually a blessing because it helped control the dust. And once it came through and did what it did, and it did a great job of doing just that. It controlled the dust and took care of it. Man, it was like end of the dust. So God had a plan, and that was to get the dust under control down there. If you guys want to go in over to 10-4 Trucker Rodeo and look at all the pictures, or 10-4 magazine, Facebook, either one, you'll see a ton of stuff over there that we posted up. Yeah, thanks to all the vendors too, volunteers, everybody. Like I said, you know, opening the show, there was so many different parts of this weekend that deserves our thanks and our praise. We appreciate everybody, all the efforts they put in, and I'll tell you, it felt like even, you know, all the competitors and the, whether the show and shine or the rodeo, they were part of the team that really, you know, made this thing work and happen, and so much fun. Look forward to what 2025 will definitely bring for 10-4 Trucker Rodeo and Show. Again, congratulations to our new president. Well, newly elected and not yet installed president, but we've got a couple months here that we need to get through before things can get on track and get changed and get going. So, as I said, everybody, one country, all Americans. We are all Americans. Let's do this. All right. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. As always, keep the shiny side up. We'll be back next Wednesday, and we will have a whole new show for you. But we will be talking about Trucker Rodeo. Hopefully we'll have Dan on the show with us, and we can talk about the winners and what that looked like and who they were. And we'll see you guys out there somewhere soon. All right, everybody, take care.